Hi, thanks so much for joining me for this Get Ready With Me featuring my February favorites. If you do want to get ready with me, we have quite a bit of product here, so this one is not for the faint of heart. Starting with the Phyto-Blanc Sisley Brightening Protective Moisturizer. We've got the Sisley foundation in 4C Honey. Of course, the Eye Concealer by Chanel in 40. Chantecaille's Le Camouflage Stilo. Clé de Peau in Honey. Remember, it's just very little of each product, and each product is used in a very specific way. We're using just that deepest shade in there in the 388 palette by Chanel. Mally's Face Defender. Trench by Victoria Beckham. Chantecaille's Eye Base in medium. My brow trio, Chanel's Duo in 03. Victoria Beckham in dark brown, the Baby Blade. And then we also have Jones Road, their gel in light brunette. We've got two blushes, Rose Polaire by Chanel and Valentino in 09. Perfect Blur Powder by Chantecaille. Both of the Sea Turtle limited edition lipsticks by Chantecaille. Bronzer by Sisley. Swedes Cloud Mascara. Chantecaille Sea Turtle in Cool. Jones Road Neutralizer Pencil in light peach. Swedes the lipstick in Penelope Rose. Remember to keep in mind how I use each product and for what purpose. Let's go ahead and get started. This has been my go-to daily. This is a Brightening Protective Moisturizer by Sisley. Now this one is gonna leave a white cast, but that's why I like the next product, which has too much color for me on top of it. So they work really well together. And I've already completed skincare with my skincare favorites of the month. And they are all very different than what I normally use. So make sure to watch that favorites video where I talk about each one of those products. I'm also integrating more devices on a more frequent basis. It just has some brightening and also protecting properties to it. It has titanium dioxide in it, and that's why you see that white cast. We're just gonna let that settle in, and then we'll go in with the foundation. So it is very moisturizing feeling on the onset, but after a few minutes, it's really nice texture. So I'm gonna let that set for a few minutes and we'll come back with the foundation. Okay, back after a few minutes, and what I like the most about this is that it targets dark spots. And let me just read what else it does, because I'm always working on these dark spots here, and anything I can put on my face that will help it improve and protect it. So it provides that targeted action on these dark spots, but also it says it visibly diminishes some of the other things that I have going on, like grayness is an issue. Like I can get a dull grayness in my forehead area, and it also works on that red component. I notice as I get older, my complexion can have a red component, which it never had before. So I was looking for something to do that. And it also provides a nice perfecting veil where the pores look more smoothed. And it also says it's heat and humidity resistant. And I don't know if it's gonna go up by now, but I have a wear test coming where I put this on and the foundation, and I do a wear test as I work out. About an hour and a half of exercise, you get to see what it looks like afterwards. So look for that. I'll have that in a shorts coming up. We've got this foundation. I have the new one here somewhere. Where is it? Okay, these shades, okay, this is the 4C. This is the 3W2. 3W2, so you can see how yellow that is compared to 4C. Now, depending on how I'm wearing this, if I'm wearing this in the daytime, which is what I've been doing, and I don't love foundation on my face in general, so I'm always looking for something that's a really lightweight foundation that doesn't feel like I'm wearing foundation. So this one actually fits under that category, and I will wear this on a daily basis because this does have still a white cast about it, and if I want it to look a little bit closer to my skin tone, I've gone out like this before though. If I want it closer to my skin tone, I'll take this foundation. It's really easy to apply. I will apply it with just my hands, but you get a more perfected, a little bit of a thinner veil with this brush. So you can see there. I think when I applied this in the first video I featured this in, the coverage was really heavy because I used my hands and it was not as evenly spread out as it is with this brush. So 4C works really well with this product because now we're back to a more normal skin tone. And I also noticed this product, I don't need to powder. So during the day, I won't powder it with powder per se, but I will go in with a product I'll show you in a moment. I'm gonna do a much more in-depth video on this foundation in general as soon as I get the shades that I want, so I can compare them for you and let you know why I like this so much and I think the best way to wear it. I think this is really great for those who don't love the look or the feel of foundation because it looks really quite natural. I am also able to build this up if I want to. Right here, I can add more. The issue is that with this particular shade, it's too much color. So you can actually see the color building up versus a concealing kind of idea. If I had the right shade though, we could definitely do that. But I have tested it and it does definitely have the ability to be a concealer without building up layers of makeup. It is possible to build this up in thin layers and look really natural. I just don't have the right shade for that. You know, I love Clé de Peau, but I did want to mention this is a really nice one if you want something different. This is the Jones Road in Light Peach. So this is a color correcting kind of product. So you'll see here, you can just draw it on. It's really easy to use. So draw that on, and then I'm going to take my Clé de Peau brush and just pat that on. It's a nice alternative to the Clé de Peau concealer if you were looking for something different. I've also been really enjoying these sponges, the rougher sponges. I forgot how much they help with this area. I just have a hard time cleaning them, so that's why I don't use them as much. Now this doesn't have SPF in it like Clé de Peau does, but I still love the Clé de Peau, but I thought let me show you something a little different if you were wanting something that was an alternative. Nothing new with our eye concealer here. We've got the Chanel in 40, but almost all gone. This one right here. Number 71 brush by Sephora. And then Chantecaille's the Camouflage Stylo 4C, just in this targeted area right there. And sometimes I like to just brighten a little bit more on these dark areas with this. It's just a little bit more brightening. Has a really nice skin-like glow, this Le Camouflage Stylo. Oh yeah, I was gonna show you what I've been doing for a no makeup, no powder setting, and then we can actually go on top of this with a powder. So this one is a funny product because I've talked about this on and off, and I'm looking for something to open it. Here we go. This is that Mally product, and I know I've talked about it before, and then I kind of forget about it, and then when I need something that I want to set with but not have powder, I always trying to think, oh yeah, that was this product. Kind of dug some of the product out to try to take it with me on a trip to a more humid climate, but I just wanted to show you it works better with a sponge. So I've been taking the rougher sponge and just applying like this, and that's how I've been setting it on a really fast day when I don't have time to get ready and really perfect. So that's it. That's all I do. So I think one of you reminded me that I had this and it would be a good thing to take out. I can't remember what I was trying to do, but it is definitely possible to powder with this. It's just a really unique product in that it doesn't feel like you're actually picking up product. You can only see the results, and it really works so much better with something like a sponge like this, or the sponge it comes with, but I've already misplaced that. But then that'll also show me, like, do I need to put a little bit more of this on? So I can add a little bit more of the light peach. And it can act as a primer too. So I can also add other products on top if I need to. Like I'm gonna add here in a moment a powder. But I wanted to show you that this does a pretty good job in tandem with the foundation. So that's a nice combination if you don't want to set with powder. I know some people don't love powder like I love powder. I'm looking for the brush again. No, I'm looking for the sponge. So this is a nice alternative. Yeah, this is a product I purchased maybe 3 times in my lifetime, always deciding it didn't work, and then the last time, somehow it worked. We're gonna go in though with this powder, Perfect Blur powder. That is my favorite. It just sets really nicely and provides some nice coverage as well, especially when I'm trying to do more, can't find any brushes. Yeah, just a really nice job of setting and doing a bit of color correcting. And I just powder in the center here. With both of these products, if I realize I need a little bit more coverage, I can go in with a cream product on top and repowder and it doesn't look cakey. So that's why I like both of those products. Okay, let's go in with brows. And now I usually do these off camera. I think because it's not, oh, what is this? I think it's not interesting, but then I know some of you have never seen this before because it might be your first time here. So let's take this, I'll just do this really quickly. This is the Brow Duo by Chanel in 03, and it works really well with this Patrick Ta brow brush. So I was using the implements that came in here and they work really well, but this works better. So I just go on the bottom like that to establish this shape, going straight across, and then I will curve it down just to get that shape going. And then I'll take some more, this is the powder side by the way, and then I take some more and I like to build this upper part so I can kind of outline it. And then, so you got a top and a bottom, and then I take the brush and it's about the same width as this brush, which is nice, and then I can turn it on its side like this and fill it in faster that way. Just right here, so really focusing that bulkier part of the product there. And then once I start tapering off, I can still be pretty intense here, but then I want to go really light at the front of the brow. So that's why I do that last, because it has less product on the brush at that point. And then I avoid this severe look at the front of the brow. Kind of how I figure best to use this product. And just thinking about depositing more in this area versus in the front. So you can do a really fast brow like this. It doesn't seem like it would be a fast product to use, but this is simply the powder part right now, and it's really fast. Let's just repeat that on this side. So going in on this side, establishing that bottom line, then the top line. Now sometimes this goes really smoothly and sometimes it does not. So sometimes it can take me 2 minutes to do this, or much longer, depending on if I need to fix something. So then just filling in right here, tapering on the end, and then pulling this product up and out. Just feeling a bit warm here, so I just have my dress on right now. It might get cool here in a moment. But this is the brow, really simple. You can go through with this brush and break up the powder if it's too thick or you want it a little bit more dispersed maybe in the front. And then I go in with my brow gel. This is the Jones Road Beauty in Light Brunette, and this has great hold, and also it's just slightly lighter than my brow, but it's a cool undertone, which is nice. It's not red at all. So I just take the brow and I go against the grain. Now when I took a Chanel online class, they actually talked about doing this first, getting the brows to go up, like back brushing them. And then you let them set for a moment and then just gently guide those brows back in place. You'll get more of a three-dimensional look. And you can see actually what brows you have to work with. It's a little bit trickier for me to do this when I'm using the brow powder though. So that's why I like to do brow powder first. But if I was just going to go in with a gel and a pencil, then I would more likely do the gel first and then fill in with a pencil. So just going against the grain here, get those brows to stand up. They look more full, and then just going on the top really gently. At this point, I can kind of see where I need to fill in a little bit. So then I take the other brow product. Yes, 3 brow products, if I can find it. There's one. And it's the Baby Blade by Victoria Beckham Beauty. And I just go in a nice spot, add where I think it looks a little sparse. I can correct anything that went amiss. And then if I didn't do a good job here in the front, I can do little individual hairs if needed. What's nice is that if you do make a little mistake, you can kind of dot in and not draw a complete line. Sometimes it just takes a dot or two to fix the brow. And brows are something I'll kind of reevaluate as I do my makeup and either brush them out or add a little bit more depending on how the makeup is looking overall. So let's go ahead in with a little bit of primer. So this is the Chantecaille Eye Base in medium. And just a little goes a long way. You don't need a whole lot. I mostly concentrate more towards the eyelash and then I taper it. I don't necessarily go all over my entire lid from lid to eyebrow. So it's mostly on this. Okay, Okay, I just dropped the lid. I need to go get that because if I don't put that on, this will dry. Oh yeah, I wanted to go in bronze because I was reminded one of my very favorite bronzers from Sisley, and it's still a lovely bronzer. And I have this is a really great bronzer brush too, the Niji Pro by Sonia G. And I was watching, no, I wasn't watching it actually. My sister sent me this video of a makeup artist who was from Asia. She said bronzer is not necessarily the same placement for everyone based on the face shape. And the way she was showing it was different than I'd seen it, but it's also the same as I do it. I like to add bronzer here. I use it as a bronzer slash contour. So I don't normally use contour on my face. I'll use the Victoria Beckham one because I think that doubles as a bronzer as well. It's kind of in between. But she also mentioned, I think I don't show this enough. So I always show this part because that's pretty predictable. But I don't know if I show this part. I do this because I want this part to look just a little bit slimmer. I just want to soften that a little bit. So that's why I go around the perimeter and then here. And then I kind of sweep the brush like this to taper that. When my sister showed me that, I said, oh, that's actually what I do, but I don't know. I realized I don't know if I really show it that way when I apply. So just know that I keep it really high under this cheekbone here, always. And then I go down the side and I sweep it like this and I soften. So I've seen people highlight here like with a lighter powder, but it doesn't work for me. So I soften like this. Yeah, so I'd love to know how you do your bronzer slash contour or bronzer based on your face shape. Yeah, so I thought I'd talk about that placement today in case you had any ideas around it or thoughts. Let's go ahead and go with eyes. Now, I love the Cool palette. I've been using this nonstop. So you can see, especially this color, I think it's so pretty. So I love putting this one, oh, sorry, this is the Chantecaille Turtle palette in the Cool. Yeah, let's take this rougher one. Very similar to Chantecaille's Shade and Sweet Brush. We're gonna take this shade. And we're also gonna intensify. I'm gonna show you how you can do this if you wanna take this into evening. Because this is quite a subtle but really beautiful. There's a really beautiful, simple look. I've been wearing this daily. I've also been wearing this to evening events. So I think sweeping that out and then adding mascara is beautiful. I think it's more than enough. It just is such a pretty shade and a really beautiful result. I want to take a fluffy brush though. I literally just throw brushes everywhere. Okay, let's take this number 15 Max. I'm going to take this shade here. This is normally how I just go. I go like this. But if I want to increase the drama, add this, the mocha shade. This is very similar to how I did this the first time, but I'm going to use something that was not necessarily featured, but I'm going to use the shade from the 388. So just take any lovely gray shade and you can intensify. So I'm going to do that with this look. I just love the fresh, I mean, right here, the freshness of this look. This is me all day, every day with a mascara and I'm good to go. But I thought for those who like the drama, because I really liked the drama with this palette, the 388. Okay, technically this appeared in March, but we're gonna just use this because it's sitting right here. But then just adding that gray to the corner. And it transforms this really quickly. The Tissé Essentiel has a gray shade. Also, I believe it's Clair Obscur has a gray shade. There's a Charlotte Tilbury palette that has a lovely gray you can pull. I'll list them below, some other gray palette ideas, because I think you could probably replicate this with other gray shades. Really fast and easy way to intensify that. Let me take a little bit of that mocha shade we originally had. I'm just going to continue to just blend that in. I'm going to add some mascara and we're going to go in with this Cloud Mascara by Swede. Really enjoyed this one. Let's see where we're at, but that is definitely something you can do with this palette to just make it a little bit more intense if that's what you want. I still love my Chantecaille mascara, but the Swede is also very nice. So I wanted to show it to you. I didn't have any flaking. I didn't have any smudging. Okay, one thing I noticed with this mascara, I've done this 3 times because I wasn't recording the first 2 times, This mascara though, what I noticed is that if I go in with a second or even third coat and it hasn't had a chance to set a little bit, the lashes can stick together. So I like to let it dry a little and then go through with this wand again, and then it separates them and then I get a fluffier looking lash. So if you have that, just a little tip. But we've got this Clé de Peau concealer just for the corners here to clean up. I just saw something about like the dated nature of this specific area of the eyeshadow, how it can look dated if it's very distinct and it's a very defined V here. So I've been doing this for a while and I just soften it with that's why I do this, kind of soften that at the end so it's a little bit more dispersed, but I still want that uplifted look. So that's why I do this. And I like to fill in this darkest spot with concealer also, but then making sure that line doesn't remain and that I soften that. Going in next with a little bit of a brightening product. This is Victoria Beckham's Trench. So it acts as a concealer, but it doesn't bunch up. So even the best concealer can bunch up. And I think because this is an eye product, it has less of a tendency to do that. It still can over time. I've got to pay attention to it, but it doesn't bunch up as much as a concealer does. It's a little bit more of a drier consistency. I'm still very much enjoying Rose Polaire by Chanel. It's really pretty, lovely, cooler toned blush. I'm going to emphasize this more on the higher center part of the cheek here. I'm also going to go in with Valentino's 09. I know that one of you was mentioning you were glad to see I was going through this because this is my new one. I'm just waiting to use it, but that's what it looks like. If it's after it's been used all the way up, it looks like it's a different tone. Still is very much a favorite. So we're just gonna go over this to soften it. Run this around really fast. And then powdering right above those eyebrows where it can get shiny, and then right in the middle. Now I have a few lip products this month that I've really been wearing on repeat, and I'm gonna try on 2 of them for you here, and then we'll see if we try on the other one. If I tried on the other one in the other video, in the one where I'm talking about my favorites. So I just think if I put this on now, it's going to just stain my lips. This isn't the lip that I would pick with this look, but it's a really lovely red. It's by FLYTE.70, and I had a lot of people ask about this. And it's in the shade Relax. Let's say, oh, here it is. FLYTE.70 is the name of this lip. So I'll swatch it here for you. It's really beautiful. You can also see it in a video that I did, but I want to stick to more neutral tones so I don't mess up the rest of my makeup. But I'll try on a combination that I've been loving, and it's this combination. Both of these Sea Turtle lipsticks by Chantecaille. So this is the shade Coral Wine, which is a little bit light and a little bit bright. And so that's why I like to go in with this one, Starflower, which is a little bit more muted, a little deeper. And this is a combination, really fresh, pretty combination. Okay, then let's go in with this one. I really have been wearing this one. So I would say Bourbon Rose, but I think it's kind of like Valentino 09. Bourbon Rose is like a favorite every month. I can swatch it for you here, but it's in my bag right now. That's how much of a favorite it is. And I had to go find this one in my bag because this is very much a new favorite, a daily wear, and also something I wear for more evening events as well if I want a neutral lip. Let me just remove this. This is by Swede. This is in the shade Penelope Rose. So I like that it's tapered. I like that I can kind of line the lips first or second, it doesn't matter, but I can go close to this perimeter and not have a messy line, and then just fill in. It has a similar hydrating feel to the Lip Chics, not as glossy, but very hydrating, really comfortable. And that is the final look. So let me know what you have been loving for the month of February. I know we are well into March at this time, but I'd love to know what you are loving lately. We've had a lot of new launches, so let me know if there's anything else I should be trying. That's it for today's video, so please take care of each other. Stay well if you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.